Guys, we have got yet another exhaust system to test out on the GR86. I've honestly lost track of how many exhausts we've installed on this car, but this one has a unique feature we haven't seen on any of the other ones, so I'm curious to see how it stacks up. Whew. This is the X-Force Varex Valved Catback exhaust. Yes, you heard that right. This is a valved exhaust, which means there's a built-in electronically controlled flap that you can close or open to make your exhaust quieter or louder. Now here's the crazy thing. When most people think about valved exhaust, there's usually a hefty price tag that comes along with it, because in the past, valved exhausts were a luxury thing that was associated with higher end cars like Porsches, Lamborghinis, Mercedes, McLarens, Ferraris, but now we're seeing them more and more on your everyday sports cars. So it's fantastic to see that technology being integrated into a product for our GR86s and BRZs. And X-Force is offering this for less than what a lot of the other exhausts on the market are going for. So with that being said, let's open up this box and take a look at what's inside. Exhaust tips, and these look like exhaust tips. Okay, so this is the muffler section with the actual valve. We've got some 90-degree bends. Not sure what's in this. This probably has the controller in it. And then this is the mid pipe with a flex pipe in it. Nice. I've seen a bunch of people post online about neighbors complaining that their car is too loud when they start in the morning or when they come home late at night. Well, this gives you the best of both worlds. Before you start your car in the morning, make sure the valve's closed so it's quiet, and then when you pull away from the neighborhood, open it back up and your car is rowdy again. Or when you're coming home late at night, before you pull in, close the valve and you don't disturb your neighbors. You can see the valve motor sitting on top of the muffler right here. This is the control unit, and we're gonna route the harness to the 12-volt plug in the glove box. You get two remotes to control the valve itself. You can also see two different tips here, which may lead you to believe that you'll have to choose from either the burnt tips or the stainless steel polished tips, when in fact you actually get both sets of tips with each exhaust system. So let's say one day you're feeling the burnt tips and another day you want to go with the polished tips, you can just swap between the two if you'd like, which makes it even more absurd that you can pick this up for just $13.50. Actually, you can use my discount code KevinVo to get 10% off, meaning you can pick all of this up for just over $1,200. And in a world that is seemingly getting more and more expensive, X-Force somehow is offering this and having it be one of the more affordable options in the market. It gets even crazier. Inside this case is the Varex SmartBox Bluetooth exhaust controller. What the heck even is that, and how does it work? Well, it works exactly how you probably think it does. You connect your phone to the SmartBox, and via an app, you're able to control the exact positioning of the valve. On top of that, you can utilize your GPS location to automatically change the valve position. So let's say you frequently drive past a police station, you can set it so when you get to that area, it automatically closes and you're no longer drawing in unwanted attention from having a loud car. Or say you get to your neighborhood, you set it to close, and when you leave the neighborhood, it automatically opens back up. I got a demo of this last year at SEMA, and being able to open and close the valve is already crazy enough, but being able to have it automatically change is bonkers. Right now we've got the Apex I N1X installed on the car, still one of my favorite exhausts that we've tested, but I think the X-Force is gonna be a completely different setup that's a bit more rowdy. It's also a dual exit, so we're gonna have to take off the exhaust hole cover on the passenger side.
Shit, how am I gonna get those? All right, I'm gonna try and kick these up to myself. I shouldn't have dropped them. Come on, baby.
Nice. Okay. I realized I'm gonna have to make this a two-part video because it's ridiculous outside with 35-mile-per-hour wind gusts right now. So if I try to get exhaust clips, all you would hear is wind noise. So what we're gonna do instead is finish up the install And then I'm gonna try to get some clips inside. It might sound a little bit different because we're in an enclosed space, but it should still give you an idea of what the exhaust sounds like with the valve open and closed. In the second video, I'll go through the smart box installation and we'll do the drive-bys and driving impressions once the weather cooperates. I almost forgot that the N1X has this bracket here that adds an extra hanger for reinforcement. So I need to remove this and then put this hanger back in the stock location. I also think there's a rubber grommet above this heat shield, but I'm not sure if I want to use that grommet to route the harness to the interior of the car. I think there's something near the tail lights that I may use instead, but I'll let you guys know. So I lied, we are gonna use one of the grommets at the bottom of the trunk. The one I wanted to use by the taillight is a little bit harder to reach, and it is currently being occupied by another harness for the Valenti taillights that I had installed. So we're gonna use the one on the passenger side here since we're routing the harness from the glove box on the passenger side. So what I'm gonna do is route the wiring harness first. We'll poke a hole in this grommet to route it down, and then we can install the exhaust and get everything plugged in and hear what it sounds like. We're gonna start routing the harness in the glove box area. Oh, I've got some trash in here. I should have cleared this out before starting this. What is this? Oh my God, which one of you guys snuck a freaking Las Vegas trading card into my glove box during SEMA? That is too funny. All right, we need to remove the glove box. I need to figure out who did that. But there's gonna be a damper on the outer side, on the right side here. I can't show you because it's too dark, but you can remove that by just pushing it off of the joint. And then we're gonna squeeze the two sides of the walls here towards the center. And then we can bring it down and you can essentially just pull this off and get it out of the car. With the glove box removed, you can see the 12-volt plug up there. If I use my arm as a reflector, you can see it better. Right in the middle, I'm gonna open up the cover. You can see that I've routed this end of the harness through the big opening right here. So I'm gonna plug this in. And then I think I'm going to take the control box here and I'm gonna double side tape it to the underside of the dash right here. I've got the control unit mounted underneath the dash over there, and I've removed some of the trim panels. For the door sill, you just need to pull it up to pop it out of place. And then for the kick panel, there's gonna be a pop clip in the very front. And once you have that removed, you can pull it off. It's just held in place with these two green panel clips. I've ran the harness over to the outer side and it's running right next to the carpet. Once you get to the back seat, you're gonna need to remove the bottom cushion. In the front, there's gonna be a 10mm bolt right here. And then for the back side, you wanna push down on this back edge to release this from the latch, and then you can unplug the seat sensor and pull the cushion out. You can see I've got the harness routed to the trunk. I've also removed the rubber grommet over on the passenger side. You can cut a hole in this and then put the grommet through and then route the harness down to the exhaust with the rubber grommet obviously on the wiring harness. That way you can close this back up and nothing can get inside your car. But for now, I'm just gonna route this down so that we can get the rest of the exhaust installed. Now that we're finished routing the harness, obviously make sure that you zip tie any excess wiring away and reinstall the trim panels, glove box, and the seat that we removed. But we can move on to installing the actual exhaust itself. So I'm gonna start in the front by installing the mid pipe, and then we can move on to the muffler section. Getting the muffler section in by myself is gonna be a bit of a chore, I feel like, because it's the heaviest part. And getting it in these hangers is gonna be quite the task. So if you have any friends, this is the time to enlist their help. Oh, get in there. Okay. Whew. Okay, I got 3 out of the 4. Maybe it's not so bad. Whew. All right, let's plug this valve in. There we go. We can slide the 90-degree bends onto the muffler. Don't forget the exhaust clamp. I have it lined up so that the bolt is on the back side, so it's kind of hidden from view. We can slide the tips into place. We're gonna go with the burnt tips for today. I still have the 90-degree bends loose, so we can still rotate this and adjust it to where we need. So once we have the tip where we want it, we can tighten down the clamps to lock it into position. All right, look at that, guys. Well, shit. I just realized I forgot to put the taillight back on before I did those B-roll shots. It's been a long day, guys. Let's put the taillight back on, start this thing up, and see how it sounds. I have no idea whether the valve is currently open or closed, so what we're gonna do is start the car. I've got the remote here. There's an A and a B button. Again, I don't know which one does which, so we're just gonna have to figure it out. I'll let the car run for a bit, hit the button, so you can hear the difference. I don't expect it to be super loud since the rest of the exhaust is stock, but we should definitely be able to hear the difference between the valve being open and closed. And I'll also do some revs as well so you can get a comparison. Are able to hear the difference there. I can definitely hear it in person. I'm gonna let the car run for a bit to warm up, and then we can do some revs, opening and closing the valve. This goes without saying, but don't leave your car started for long periods of time in an enclosed space. I had the garage door cracked and the door open, but obviously not ideal. Now, for the short period of time I heard the cold start, idle, and the revs that I did, I think I'm gonna very much enjoy driving this car around with this exhaust installed. I was worried that it was gonna be too quiet because of how large the muffler was and the rest of the exhaust being stock. But that's definitely not the case. And this might be because we're in an enclosed space, but I would say this exhaust is on the louder half of this scale, but it's not raspy. It doesn't sound like a fart can. It actually has a very nice exhaust tone to it. And being able to open and close that valve is just the cherry on top. I can't wait to actually get this car outside and see how the exhaust sounds with the engine under load. But like I said, we're gonna have to do that in another video. We'll install the smart box and get the flybys and get the driving impressions in that video. But if you guys are wanting to pick one of these up for yourself, I'll leave a link down in the description. Don't forget to use my discount code KevinVo to get 10% off the website. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, comment down below. I am always happy to help. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the new content. If you are, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.